No matter what your religion is or lack of religion, this is America. You have a right, a freedom of speech. Speak out.
A Kentucky lawmaker is pushing for religious freedom in schools. We'll tell you what this would mean for your student. An Eastern Kentucky family speaking out, saying all they want for Christmas is their 8-year-old grandson to come home.
We'll show you how a Christmas breakfast filled stomachs and warmed hearts for many people in Lexington who didn't have anywhere to go this morning.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good evening. A Kentucky lawmaker says he wants to make sure that certain religious freedoms are allowed in public schools. Senator Albert Robinson says the bill will allow students to voluntarily pray or express any religious viewpoint at school functions or in assignments. WKYT's Phil Pendleton talked with Robinson about the bill. It's our top story at 5:30.
Senator Albert Robinson says when it comes to the separation of church and state in schools, there's been a lot of lies told.
So it's been told so much, but it's a farce. It's a lie. But it's been, when I tell a lie more times after so many times, people get to believe in it.
Robinson says the overwhelming majority of Kentuckians would support his bill to allow students to voluntarily pray in schools or to include religious beliefs in their classwork or assignments.
Students do indeed have a right to speak at the same times and places where there be any other activity or speech or discussion.
The bill would allow prayers at school events like graduation. School boards would be required to adopt a policy about voluntary student expression of religious viewpoints.
But also, no matter what your religion is or lack of religion, this is America. You have a right, a freedom of speech. Speak out.
Robinson says the bill would allow any religious viewpoint, but he admits his motivation comes from what he's seen as unfair targeting against Christian prayers, beliefs, or practices.
But we as Christians, we have been denied our constitutional rights, and it's time for us to stand up and speak out.
The bill has been pre-filed as Bill Request 383 and will be considered once the legislature resumes in January. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Robinson says the bill is modeled after similar legislation that passed in Florida and Mississippi. A Christmas wish unanswered. A grandmother in Letcher County is still waiting for her grandson to return home. Lily Mae Adams is hoping her son Floyd Jr. Sexton will bring his 8-year-old son Nicholas home for Christmas. Police say Sexton took Nicholas back in October. Adams has not heard from her son or grandson since early this month.
I don't know anything, that's what hurts me. Not knowing what's going on, with Nick.
The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children is now looking for Nicholas Sexton. Adams says that she hopes this will help spread the word about her missing grandson. A dog stuck in a cave on Black Mountain is safe and sound tonight. Early this morning, we learned that crews in Letcher County rescued the dog named Jane. It took almost 6 hours to get the 3-year-old hunting dog out of the cave. Crews made up of volunteers from a local animal shelter and even cave divers from Middlesboro and Missouri spent 12 hours on Black Mountain Christmas Eve to rescue Jane.
Nothing words can say. It just made we took a big burden off, and the dog's happy, we're happy, and I mean it's unbelievable. Everybody come together on Christmas and done the impossible.
Well, Jane is now back home, and her owners say she is doing just fine. We didn't have much of a white Christmas, but we did see some peaks of sunshine today, and tomorrow should be even nicer. Meteorologist Jim Caldwell's here to break down that forecast, and I like the sound of that Friday.
Yeah, it looks really good out there. A lot of folks close in on that 50-degree mark. More sunshine out there for you tomorrow as well. So even though we didn't get that white Christmas, a nice day after Christmas. Let's look outside right now at a few spots across Kentucky, and you can see it's still on the chilly side. You've got some upper 30s and low 40s throughout the area. We go to Frankfort, not much traffic out there. You go up toward Covington, though, and it is buzzing along. Here in Lexington, still watching the sunset off in the distance. Defender, quiet out there for you now. We were tracking rounds of rain and even a flake or two of snow extremely early this morning. and now it is quiet anywhere you look. And that's the way it'll remain, I think, throughout the rest of the evening and into the overnight. So we look ahead here around 8 o'clock, mostly clear, temperature around 38, kind of an average for the area. By 36 by 11 o'clock, and then we go into the day tomorrow. Pretty fair day. A lot more sunshine out there, coming in right around 50 of that 48-degree reading. Some folks probably get up to 50 in some locations, and then we cool things off again going into your Friday night. The weekend looks wet, especially going into Sunday. I'll track those chances coming up for you in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Jim. Dozens of people without a place to call home this Christmas started their holiday off with a warm meal. Volunteers served a free hot breakfast at the Catholic Action Center on 5th Street this morning. Mark Barber talked to people who say this is the Christmas cheer they need. It's new at 5:30.
It's very hard for a homeless person out here today.
Twan Brown says times are tough, but he says this month has been especially hard.
I'm currently in between jobs and helping out at the center and stuff and at the inn, and I do what I can to stay afloat. Survival, that's what it's about.
This morning, he and about 100 other people who are down on their luck met at the Catholic Action Center on 5th Street for a cup of Christmas cheer.
It feels pretty good to be around friends and family. It's wonderful.
Kathy Ingram says she and many others who have nowhere else to go on Christmas have been finding family and a hot meal here for 15 years.
It's great. It is very great.
It was delicious. That's all I can say about it. It's delicious.
And everybody's, sharing with each other, getting to know each other. That's what I call Jesus. And Jesus would like that.
That was the great part. That's the best part of the day. Coming here, seeing some of my friends, talking to them, saying Merry Christmas.
Brown says even though he's homeless and hurting, he still has a full stomach and a full heart because he spent Christmas here. In Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Also, a church group from Mary Queen and the Holy Rosary provided the food for the meal and the volunteers. The group serves a meal on the 4th Sunday of every month at the Catholic Action Center. Well, for others, Christmas morning is spent at church. Church leaders at Cathedral of Christ the King on Colony Boulevard in Lexington tell our Whitney Wetzel that thousands of people fill the church during Christmas.
While most people probably spent most of this Christmas morning at home in their PJs unwrapping gifts, some people went to church to celebrate the reason for the season.
Well, the reason for Christmas is in fact that God loved us more than anything, and he chose to become one of us to share our suffering and our troubles to better understand us.
For lots of people, going to church Christmas Eve night or Christmas morning is a tradition that they grew up with and then carried on. At the Cathedral of Christ the King on Colony Boulevard, this year was no exception.
I'd say we'll have about 7,000 or 8,000 people attend services here over the course of last night and today. So some full houses. The people of God love to come together, sing joyful hymns, and praise their God.
Over at Good Shepherd on East Main Street, churchgoers were also excited to spend the holiday with family.
Christmas is special.
And remember what it's all about.
This is the day we celebrate Jesus' birthday. And so it's a way of celebrating with unending joy that he chose to come into this world and be with us.
Most churches held their Christmas Day services this morning and their late services on Christmas Eve. In Lexington, Whitney Wetzel, WKYT.
And the priests we talked to say through the years, the tradition of going to midnight mass has instead turned into attending services on Christmas Day. Tomorrow's a busy day for many people as they return gifts or make exchanges for something that they'll actually use or that fits better. Our good question, what do I need to keep in mind before heading off to the store or mall to return or exchange a gift? Well, number one, as tempted as you might be, try to avoid opening the package and removing any store tags. It could be tougher to return it. Some stores may not accept an open package or box. Second, go to the website of the store and check out their exchange policy. Many retailers do have deadlines. For example, Walmart, Target, and Toys R Us all give refunds within 90 days, so there is a cutoff. Third, it is easier to return the gift if you have the receipt. That can be tricky, asking a family member for a receipt, but if it's some clothing that doesn't fit or something that you already have, that usually works out and you can get the receipt back. If you have a good question, go to WKYT.com. Typically, you'll see our Washington Bureau chasing down lawmakers to discuss the hard-hitting topics on Capitol Hill, but this time, our lawmakers are in the holiday spirit. We talked to some of them about their favorite holiday memory.
The holidays are a time where people like to share their favorite memories. That's happening here on Capitol Hill, too. Lawmakers submitted some of their most cherished Christmas photos, and we're going to share them with you.
Happy holiday. Happy holiday. Happy holiday.
This is one of Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown's best holiday photos. He's dressed up as Santa Claus with his granddaughter Jackie and his dog Franklin. When Brown was a kid,
my dad and mom thought it was a great Christmas surprise to get a little pony in town, and they put straw in the garage, let us out on Christmas morning to meet our little pony, and we called him Brownie. That was really clever with my last name Brown.
For Pennsylvania Congressman Mike Kelly, one of his Christmas memories included a very special gift from Santa.
I can remember coming down the stairs and seeing this train track underneath the tree and this train going around, and I thought, oh my goodness, Santa Claus brought me a train.
3, 2, 1.
The holidays aren't complete without a Christmas tree, and Colorado Congressman Scott Tipton would know a thing or two about that. In 2012, the Capitol Christmas tree came from his own district.
My favorite memory growing up was that Christmas when I got my first set of skis, and came out and we tried to act surprised, but when it's a long, narrow box that's a little taller than you, you knew what was in there and you just couldn't wait to open it up.
For Pennsylvania Senator Bob Casey, the holidays are all about spending time with his 4 daughters.
It was a lot of fun when they were kids because they would be tearing the wrapping paper off presents, but there's still a lot of joy and a lot of anticipation and a lot of Christmas spirit, so we're lucky.
Lawmakers say they look forward to the holiday season all year long, and it's not just because Congress is on recess. It's because it's the time when lawmakers create those cherished holiday memories. Reporting in Washington, I'm Jacqueline Policastro.